What I want to talk about in our final day together is kingdom advancement through joyfully submitting to God. And really about the aim of our joyful submission. And we've talked about it a little bit this week, but I want to kind of speak around it a little bit more. I think a lot of our, if not all of our joyful submission is really birthed out of love from God and our love towards God, which is ultimately built on relationship. But with that, it's purpose for kingdom advancement to flow from that relationship. And in the midst of that relationship that we find ourselves in with God, we find ourselves in all sorts of circumstances and situations, sometimes good, sometimes seemingly not good. But part of what we can learn in the midst of that is to rejoice. Again, I say rejoice, as Philippians 4 tells us, in all things. It's learning that in this relationship with God, learning to delight in Him. It doesn't matter our circumstances around us, but instead to be able to willingly walk through what God has set before us, and not doing it begrudgingly, but to posture ourselves in a way that we can do so with joy. Joy in our lives with God and towards Him. And this posture of joy, it's not everything, but it really is a big thing. God tells us that the joy of the Lord is our strength, and we receive joy, or we receive strength when we take joy in the Lord. And then in this strength, we're able to do what we would not be able to do otherwise. Going back to what I spoke on earlier this week regarding delight in Psalm 37:4, this word can mean like pliable or malleable. And it makes me think of Isaiah 64 verse 8, where God is talking about being the potter and us being the clay, being malleable and easy to work with in His hands, that there's something about when we delight in God, we become more easily moved and formed by Him. And that's my hope for really all of us, everyone listening, that we would delight in God and become more malleable in His hands. As we have the 21 days of prayer and fasting beginning this week, let's not let delight fade away, but may you find yourself drawn all the more into Him. I know that if we draw near to Him, He'll draw near to us. This is a promise He's given us. And as we begin the 21 days of prayer and fasting, I invite you to take some time to delight in the Lord. Not only now, but during the fast and beyond the fast. See, in your time of delight, I really believe you'll find yourself being more submitted to the Lord, allowing yourself to be more formed into His image, allowing your desires to be shifted more aligned with His desires, ultimately allowing Him to work in and through you in ways that not only advance His kingdom, but bring joy and complete satisfaction to you. It helps us walk out our faith in a way to see His kingdom come and His will be done. See, this joyful submission is not just for our own sake, but it's for the sake of the kingdom. God is so good in all His ways. He knows what we need before we even need it. So, Manna family, let's change the world together as we live and delight in Him.